Hi everyone, welcome to Data Analytics Blog. And I'm going to be saying Happy New Year to you and thank you for subscribing to my channel so far. And this year we shall do more together. And in this first video of the year, I'm going to be walking you through how to design this dynamic Power BI dashboard that track three key performance indicator such as the sales, the profit and the quantity across all the region. Also, this dashboard will also allow the end user to filter by year and dynamically switch between three metrics, which is the sales, profits and the quantity. So what I mean by switching between two metrics, so I created three parameter which I name as key matrix. And from here, we can switch between these three matrices to check for uh, the uh, the KPI for each of these region. So for the central, we have for the central, for the east, and for south and west. So we have all the information. So these are the profits for this for each of the if I click on this now, you see that we have profits for each of the region. If I click on this, you will see that we have quantity details for each of the region. Also the sales details for each of the region. And in this dashboard, you'll be able to know how to, at the end of this dashboard, you'll be able to know how to create use parameter as how to create parameter and use it as slicer. Also you'll be able to know how to use advanced data to create charts. So for here we are going to be creating more advanced charts. And for my what's it called, for the background, you all know that I like to do my background video, background or image in PowerPoint. So this is the background image. So if you need me to do the video of this background, please put it in the comment section. I'm going to be doing that. So now this is the simple background image that I created, which I use for this particular dashboard, which I use for the particular dashboard. So now I'm going to be referencing, I actually got this insight from data tutorial and I try to recreate it in my home, also in my home way, get the understanding of the data and also try to create it in my home way. So now you can do the same thing. The essence of this is to keep us on track and to also help us to improve our skills or our data analytics skills. That's the essence of doing the tutorial in my channel. So you can also recreate this and also tag me in on your post when you do that, and I'm going to be looking forward to that. So now it's time for us to start our uh, analysis. And the first thing now that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showing us the data. This is the sample of the data. This is the data in the Power BI. This is the data sorry, in Excel, Microsoft Excel. So this is the data. It's a sales data, and from this we can get different, or depending on the type of the analysis that you want to perform, you can actually perform different analysis from this particular data. It can be customer analytics, you can be, or what's it called, category, or anything that you want to perform. So you can perform it on in this using this particular data. So now it's time for us to start this. So now you can launch your Power BI. So this is my Power BI, and I'm going to import the data from Excel. Import. I'm going to go to my download. So this is the data sales overview. So you can download the data. I'm going to put the link where I downloaded the data. Like I said, I got it from data tutorial, and it's also a very popular data that we most of us use, most of data analysts use. So I'm going to be putting the link there for you to download it. So now you click on this, you can preview your data, and I'm going to transform this data. in Power Query Editor. So the essence of transforming data in Power Query Editor is to check the data type suitable for our analysis. Remember, if the data type in our data is not correct, if we are using the wrong data type, it will affect our analysis. So this is the essence of actually transforming our data in our Power Query Editor. So I'm going to be checking through the data to see if we have all our data type in check. So like I said, I've done it before, so I think we are good to go. We can actually close and apply the data. So close and apply, close and apply. So now our data now is in our report view. It has been loaded into Power Query, Power BI. So now it's time for us to start all the necessary analysis. So the first thing that I'm going to be doing here is to create a calendar table in order for us to get our current year and previous year. So we need to create a calendar table, and by doing that, all I need to do is to click on new table. That's what I'm going to be doing. So now the data is still loading. I'll click on new table to create a calendar table. I'll right click here. Okay, sorry, I will go to insert, not insert. Hold on. Go to table view. Sorry, we go to this table view, or call it data view. It can be called data view or the table view. So this particular place is where you can actually view your table, your data. So I'm going to be clicking on new table. Click on new table. Then I need to name, what am I naming it, or what do you want, how do you want to name it? So I'm going to be naming it date table. Date table. And equals to calendar table. Then, so what will be my minimum date? So minimum will be, I'm going to be choosing minimum date. From which date? Minimum date from where? From the order date. So I'm going to be selecting minimum from the order date. Then I need my maximum too. I need my maximum date from the same order date. So you just click write order date. Order. Then you see date. And then I'm going to close the brackets. Close the bracket. So you can see now that, okay, too much. Okay. So you can see now that my date has been created. Now it's time for us to extract the year, the month, and also the month number from this. So now the first thing that I'm going to be extracting now is I'm going to be extracting the year. And to extract year, I have a formula for that. So now I'm going to be clicking on new column here. Just click on new column, and our column name will be year, equals to year. Then remember, I'm extracting it from the date table that we created, not from the other dates. So from this particular table that we created, year date table. The date table that we created, this is it. So you can see now that our data has been created. Our year has been created. Now the next one now is what I'm going to be extracting, or what's it called, I'm going to be extracting the month. So, and to extract month, we will not be able to get the month name. We'll not be able to use the month function, because if you use the month function, what it will return is the number of the month. Instead of returning the month name, which is January, February, it will be returning month number, which January represents 1 and February represents 1. So that's the reason why we are not going to be using month function. Instead of month function, we are going to be using format to get that format. So we are going to be using, we make use of format function. So what format function does is to convert value to a text in Power BI. So now I'm going to be doing new column month equals to format month, format again date table, then brackets, comma, then in quote, how do you want your month, how do you want to write it? So I'm going to be shortening the form. Okay, I think I've missed this date table, this good. So did you all see the format? So this is the date table. Then how I want to view my months, the month name, how do you want to view it? So you can write it in 4 or in 3. So I'm putting it in 3 to show it. So let's check what that means. You can see now that it's shortening it abbreviated it. But if I put it, if I put this hem in 4 places, you will see that it will give me the full name of the month. So I don't want the full name, so I'm leaving it as abbreviation. So now the next thing that I'm going to be doing is the month number. Again, new column, month. So you can write it as month number equals to, now we can use the month function to get the month number. Month, then date table. So you can see the difference between using the month function now and then the format function to extract the month. Now we've created our date table. Now is the next thing is to actually create relationship between our date table and then our sales. And for the reason for creating relationship is for, or this, if you are creating a visual, now maybe you are creating any visual and you are using the date extracted from that you created for the particular visual, it it might not work if you did not create a relationship between them. So let's say, for example, okay, like this particular visual now, I didn't create a relationship between the date table that I created and the sales data. It will not work. By the time that we are using the slicer, or by the time you are using month, or you are using the month as an analysis for your chart, rather, it will not work. It will not work. So now let's create relationship between them. So I'm going to be creating relationship between these dates and the other dates. That's what we just need. So that's all. So now let's go back. to our report view. So now it's time for us now to start creating some matrix that we need for the dashboard. We need to create some matrix: the total sales, total quantity, total what's it called, total profit, then year on year sales, current sales, and or previous sales. So now the first thing that I'm going to be creating is I'm going to be putting all the measure that we are going to be creating. I'm going to be putting them into a particular uh I'm going to be putting them into a particular table. So now come here. Okay, so now I'm going to click on home. I'm clicking on enter data, so that it will be easier for me to be checking the measure that I created. So this will be all measure, then load it. So now I will just right click on the measure, then I'm going to be clicking on new measure. The first one that I'm going to be doing is total sale. So my total sales equals to, what's my total sale? If I want to get total sale, that will be sum of sales data. So sum function will aggregate each sales of each row. So that's what is going to aggregate, and we are going to do the same thing for the quantity and also for the profit. So it will be sum sales. So now I'll be click this. I'm going to be changing this to dollar form, to currency. So it's currency, so it should be in currency. So I'm going to be putting it in currency. Then I'm going to be changing it to uh, zero decimal place. So now I'm going to be clicking on new measured again, and the next thing that will be here will be my total profit. You can just call it profit or total profit. Total profit, which is equals to sum of profit again. Just look for profit here, then close it, then change this to also currency. Then let's change this to zero decimal place. Then the next one that I'm going to be doing is total quantity. Total quantity, which is equals to sum of quantity. So now we are done with this. I'm just going to put this as this. So we are done with our first measure. Then now the next one that we are going to be doing now is to create our current year sales and then our previous year sale. That's what we are going to be doing. Previous year, then year on year sale. So now, so to create new measure again, I'm just going to be clicking this. So to create our, or what's it called, first we're creating the current year sales, and then we create the previous year sales, and then we are going to create the year on year growth. So now let me go back to my this. I will just copy this. So now I'll copy this, then I'm going to explain it. Let me copy, then explain. So now this is my CY sale, and it means current year sale. So I call the variable, and the variable is selected year, which is equal to selected value. Then my date, the selected value is the date table that we created, remember. Now I call another variable, and to calculate the total sale. So this current year sales is to calculate the total sales, and then date table equals to selected year. So what is it going to return? It's going to be returning the current year sales. That's what it's going to be returning. So it call after it will calculate my total sales for each of the selected year, and it will give me the current year sales. So that's what it means. So now I'm going to be putting this also like this, and also changing it to zero decimal place. So again, I'm going to be copying the previous year's sales to. You just need to call a variable. So copy this, then again new measured this. So now here, now we did the same thing, like I call a variable, but the variable name is PYC, that's previous year sale. The same calendar table and total sale, and then it's equals to selected year minus one. The reason why we're having minus one is because it's previous year. So we have to get it, we have to subtract it from the previous year. So now, and it's returning the PY sales. So what are we returning after we have selected the previous year minus one? We are returning the PY sales. After we have selected assuming that after we have selected the current year minus one, so it will return the previous year. So assuming that I'm selecting 2021 data now, it's going to be returning, let's say I'm selecting 2023 data, it's going to be returning, or what's it called, 2022 data for me, because I've deducted, or minus, I've already subtracted minus one from that 2021 data. So it's going to be returning 2022 data for me. So that's what it means. So the only the difference between the current year and the previous year is that we are subtracting one from the selected year. So this, and then I'm going to be changing it also to this. So now take this. So now the next one now is our year on year growth. To make our work faster, let's also copy and paste that. So to calculate year on year growth is simply, or the difference between current year and previous year, and then you divide it by previous year. That's simply what year on year growth is all about. And then you can change it to percentage. So I'm going to be changing this to zero decimal place. Oh, so I hope you get the, or what's it called, you get the understanding of the, or that we calculated. If you don't, you can actually what's it called, put it in the comment section, and I'm going to explain, but I'm going to reply your comments. So now we've created all our variable. Now the next thing that we need to do now, the next thing that we need to do is to, or I need to bring my dashboard background. Yes, the background of the dashboard, so I need to bring it. So I'm going to be coming to this place. You come to this visualization page, then click on this format, then click on canvas background and browse through. So make sure you know where you keep your background dashboard. So I already bring it here. So reduce this transparency to 0, then make it fit. So this is my dashboard background. So now we start creating our visual. So now the first thing that I'm going to be creating is this parameter, and I'm creating this for us to be able to switch between or the different KPI for each of the region. We need to create a parameter. And how do we get a parameter? How do we create a parameter? So what you do is go to modeling, then you will see new parameter. Click on this, then click on feed. Click on feed. Then now you see, click on feed, then change your parameter name. So you can change your parameter name. So I'm going to be writing this as key matrix, or you can just write matrix. So what are your parameter? Name your parameter, like I said, with then check all the matrix that you can see that you can now check the matrix that you want to create. So what do I want to create? I want to create what's it called, profit, quantity, then sales, then create. So now you can see now that your matrix has been created automatically. You can see it has been created automatically. Now you can actually or what's it called, rename your matrix. You can rename them, all the matrix. You can rename the two or the all your matrix. So I'm going to be renaming them. So you come to this place, this matrix that you have created, come to this place, then it will bring this particular visual. So now I'm going to be renaming them profit, quantity. This is quantity. So now you can see now that it has changed. That's for easy. So now you can see now that it has changed. Now you can actually format them. So I'm going to be clicking on this. I'm going to be making it to be tied. Making it to be tied. Then the value, okay, the effect, I'm going to be removing the background. Then the value, I'm going to be changing it to this. Then you can just format it to your own format. Header, also I'm going to be changing the header to this, then this. So now you can actually put it here. So this way I put mine. So let me check the formatting that I use. Okay, nothing much, nothing much here. So the border, you can just leave it. So this is what I use. So this is my, This is my matrix. So now the next thing that I need to do now is to start creating each of these visual for this. So now the first thing is the card, our sales, then previous sale. So now the first thing that I'm going to be doing now is to create the first KPI. I'm going to be bringing the new card, new card, then and then I'm going to be putting one of the matrix. I just add one of the matrix to this. So click here, click one of the matrix. So I've already clicked one of the matrix, which is sales. So if I click this one, it will give me quantity. You can see what I mean by dynamically switching between three matrix. So if I click this, it will give me profit. So now I need to format this particular card first. Let's format it. First, I'm going to remove this, all of this. Then go to my effects, remove the effects. So now, what else? What else? Okay, the call out value. I'm going to be changing it to this. So now I'm going to be using the color of this particular uh central that I use here. So I'm just going to be checking from here to make our work faster. So I'm going to be checking, click on more color here, then copy the color. So I'm going to be checking. If you want to use the same color code, just work. You can see this is the color code 22222A35. That's the color code that I use. So now for the value display unit, I'm going to be clicking on none. So I'm going to be clicking on none. So now again, for our labeling also, I will just use this, then bold it, then change this. So now remember this particular, so now let me keep formatting this. The number, the value, I need to format the front size. So let's just put it as 25. So now this particular sale is for the total sales, but now I need to do for just central only. That's what I need for central only. So what I need to do now is to come right here and use my filter button and then put my region in the filter button. Then I will just select for central only. You can see now. So this information now is for central region only. It's for central region only. So now I still need to change the value. Let's just get the value, the correct value. Let's do 20. Okay, so 20 is, we are good to go with 20. So now this, I'm going to bring this down here. Okay, there is one thing that I need to do. I think the color code for this, okay, for the label, I need to get the color code for the label. So now for the label, So now you get that. So now I'll just copy and paste this and put it for my copy paste for my py cell. So now, okay, so go back to this place, then add my previous year sale to this. So now again I'm going to be reducing the, so now I need to reduce this py sale. So now we're having blank, so let me add my slicer first. Let's add the slicer. So now I'm going to be using year for my as my slicer. So now I need to format this slicer. I need to format the layout. Oh, okay. So now if I click on this now, you will see my previous year. So the reason why we were having blank before was because we were not alighting on any year. So if I click on 2021, we might be seeing blank. Yes, it's because we don't have any previous year. We don't have 2020 data. So if I click on 2022, you see now that we have the current year for the previous year, which is this 2021 data. So comparing the current year and the previous year. So now if I put this, you see now that we are having, you can see now, so this is 2024 sales data and then this is 2023. So we are comparing them together and see the difference between them. So now we have our, I'm going to be formatting this later, but let's leave it here first. So now the next thing that I'm going to be doing again, okay, is filter for that. The next thing I'm going to be doing again is, oh, what's it called, to bring my uh cluster table. That's the cluster column charts. That's what I'm going to be using for the monthly data. So I'm going to be putting my months. Again, I'm going to be putting one of the I'm going to be putting the matrix. Yeah. So now you can see that our year, let me try and sort ascending. So what we need to do now is to go back to our data view, then click on the date table that you created, then click on the months, then sort month by month number. So now let's go back to our report view and check sort by month. Good. So we are good to go. So now we can now format our visual. Let's format it. First we need to remove the background, remove the title also, then let's bring it here. So now for the y-axis, I'm going to be removing everything on the y-axis, and for the x-axis, all we need to do now is to format it. So just use your own format. You can use your own format. Okay, so let me use black for this. You can use your own format. Now for the uh, column, I'm going to be using the color code for the central that I use. So now, and I'm going to be adding data label to that. Then I need to format my data label. So again, format it to your. So now if I click on quantity now, you will see, if I click on quantity, you see that it's giving me value for quantity for central only. See, for central only. So also it's giving me value for Zico, for for central only here, and also, okay, I think I need to add, my region also. I need to filter by region too. So central. So you can see now it's giving us value for just central only. So if I click this, to give us value for central. If I click this, it will give us value for central. Okay, let me So now for this now, if we click on each of the year, you can see that our each of the year is changing with our current year, is dynamically changing with and then the previous year is also changing with, from there. So now the next one we are going to be doing now is our is the east. So I will just copy this, copy everything here. I'm going to be copying this, then paste, then drag it down to this place. So all I need to do is to change this place, change everything there, come to my filter place, then change it to east, then come to the filter page here, the, then remove this and change it to east, then also here remove this and change this to east. Then I'm going to be changing the color to the color code. So let's quickly check the color code for east. I'm going to be checking that here. So just follow, if you want to use the same color code, you can just check online for different color code. So now I'm going to be coming to my visualize format page, then color card value here, more color, then change this to this. So now this is the east. Then also we're going to be changing the color code for the or our column chart. Click on the column chart, then your column, I'm going to be using this color, this particular. So again, copy and paste for south. So all I need to do now is to change this, click on this, then change it from south, from east to south, then here also east to south, then this east to south. So now all I need to do now again is to change the color code. So I'm going to be checking for the color code of this, of our east. Check the color code. What's the color code? Come right here. Copy this. Then go to this place, visual format page, call out value. So that's our color code. Then here again for our column chart, change this. So again, copy this, come here, paste it for the last region, which is west. Also look for the color code. Okay, for west, color code is this. Copy this, then come to this place. So call out value, then color code is this. Then this, highlight the column chart and change the color of the column. Also, I need to change this from south to west. So here, remember to change your region. Okay, so now, so we have this for our regional. So now I've created this particular sales, the matrix, what's it called, the key matrix for each of the regions. So if I change this to quantity now, you will see that everything is dynamically changing to quantity. If I change it to sales, you can see that it's changing to sale. If I change this to what is it called, to profit, you also see that everything is changing to profit. So now the next chart is our table chart. This particular table, this the next chart that I'm going to be doing. So this is the next chart we are going to be doing, our table chart. So now I'm going to be going back to my report view. So let me drag this up. So I'm going to be formatting that later. So now report view, then my table, I'm going to be bringing my table to this place. Then I'm going to be dropping the region, then the current year sales, previous year, then year on year growth. That's what we are going to be making use of. So now all I need to do is to format it, is to format this. So I'm going to be going to the format. First, I'm going to remove the background, then the grid. I'm going to increase this to about 10. Then put on the vertical line. I'm going to increase it to about 4 or 5. Okay, let me increase this to 5. So now I can now keep formatting it. First, for the value, so now if I want to use this, let's not use it. Let's use default. I think I'll prefer the default or bolded. Let's check bolded. Okay, default bolded. Okay, so now let's check for the value. I'm going to be increasing, customize. You can do your own custom value. So now for the total, let's start with the total. I'm going to be leaving it this way. Okay, can do this. Let me check how that was done. Okay, so let me just check let's check the format that we use. Okay, my grid. Okay, right. Okay, I use alternating row. Kilometer. Okay. Okay, good. Beautiful. So now you can just do your own custom formats. Do your own custom formats. So now, okay, I can increase the volume or the font size. So for the total, also the total option, I'm just going to leave it that way. The grid, oh, I didn't turn it on. So you can increase this to about 10. So now let's go back to our value. Let's decrease the okay. I think I prefer it this way. So all we need to do now for each of the value, the column, that specific column, I want to bring it, except for the CY cell, I want to bring into, I want to align it to the middle rather. Good. CY cell. So apply also to total. Then for the PY cells, the same thing, apply to total, align to the middle. For the year on year growth, the same thing, apply. So for our CY cell, I need to come right here then change it to currency again, then put it to zero decimal place. Okay, okay, so we are good to go with this. So now the next one that I need to do now is the last chart here. The last chart here, that's the key matrix by state, then also the total sales, total quantity, and total profit. So now I'm going to be using this cluster bar chart. Then I'm going to be bringing states, that's state and profits, then region to legend, and then the matrix I'm going to be putting it here. So now, is it matrix? Let's check. Key matrix. Yes, that's what I use. Legend. Okay. So now we can start formatting our. Let me put the region back. Okay, let's format this first. I don't need the title here. Okay, everything on the x-axis, I'm going to be switching it off. So for the y-axis, I don't need the title. So I'm looking at why is it changing this way? Or maybe I'm not using the right. Let me check this. Okay, so we are using this tag bar chart, so not the clustered one. So now let's format our okay, you can just leave it or remove the title, the title. Then let's go back to legend, remove the legend title, then you can bold it, then bring the legend, you can bring the legend to the bottom center. So now the next thing that I'm going to be doing here is to okay, effect, I'm going to be removing the background. Okay, so now the next thing is to go to the y-axis and then change this to this, change this to this. I'm formatting the font size now. So you, like I said, you can do your own custom format. Can do your own custom format. Now the layout of the, I'm trying to check the layout. Okay, can we increase the layout? Can actually increase it. So you can increase the layout. So okay, for the bar, I'm going to be checked. using the color for each of the, what's it called, for each of the region that we've been using. That's what I'm going to be using. So you can change it to your own color if you want to, so we know which represent which. So you can add data label to it. You can add data label. So there is something that I need to do. I'm trying to check. Okay, let's see this. Okay, you can switch your axis. Okay, so now the next one is this card. So now I'm going to be bringing the new card, and then I'm going to be adding all our total sales, total quantity, then total. Then now coming back here to change the layout to vertical, layout to vertical. Then I'm going to be removing the background. Then I'll come here, the shape. I'm going to be putting this in as rounded. So now let's do the callout value. The callout value, changing it to this, so you can reduce the. So now let me check what I use. So I use this color, then I reduce the transparency. Okay, so let's go back to it. So we are going to be our card, fill. So I use this color, then I increase the transparency, I think to about 24, or let's check. Let me check. You can just use whatever you feel like using. So like I said, you can customize your own. You can format your own or color. You can format that. So now coming back here. So now that's the color. So I'm going to be removing the border line. So go back to the layout. In between them, I'm going to be, no, is it reducing? Okay, I'm going to be reducing it. Okay, so now for the labeling, the label, so I'm going to be changing the color to this. I use this. Change the format to this. That's my favorite format in case you don't know. So now for the value again, I'm going to be using, displaying it as null. Going to be displaying as null. Okay, so now I can still reduce the this to 20. Good. Then I'm going to be putting it to this. Okay, you can increase this. Okay, so now I added to the card, I added accents to it, accent bar. So now I can come right here, come to this side, then increase the width. So that's it. So now the next thing is the last one, the year on year growth. So now I'm going to be removing everything here. Then I will add year on year growth, remove this. So all I need to do is to just align it. So for the year on year growth, I'm removing the accent bar. Then for the for my layout or shape, no shape now, I'm going to be reducing it to maybe this. Yes, reducing it to 50. So that's everything I did here. So now I can change the color to what I want. That's the card color. I want to change it to this. So let me I love this. Let's change this to this. So now I have my year on year growth here. So now we are done with all the visualization now. So now I need to format this particular slicer. Let's format it. Button. Let me check. Let's see border. No, that will be border. So I think it's shape. So I'm just going to be formatting it. The first thing that I need to do is to remove this, remove the background, then remove the title. Go back to display the shape. So I'll change it to the rounded. So you can increase this. Then for the general setting, the layout. Okay, I think the layout, the spaces between the card. So you can just increase this. Oh, okay, the spaces. Okay, so now, oh, general setting, right? Property. Okay, not this one. I didn't use this. So now, the next thing is to go back to the card, the button, then for default color, not padding, no border, field. So I'm going to be changing it to this for default color. So now that means I'm going to change the text, and for over, okay, go back to the layout, changing the text to this. Okay, so if I'm selecting this. So now for over, Hmm. Yes, for selected value, you can change it to this so that we know the value that we selected. You can see now. So for over, if you are hovering over on it, I'm going to be changing it to maybe black. I'll change it to black. So now we are done with our visualization, and I believe that you have learned one or two things on this that will make you improve your skills. We've learned how to create a parameter to be able to dynamically switch between matrix. Also, we've learned how to create stacks and use the filter button for the analysis and our dashboard. If you haven't subscribed to my channel at this point, please subscribe to my channel. Help me to share this link, share my YouTube channel, like, comment, and I'm going to reply your comments. If you have any issue, you can message me directly on my LinkedIn page, or you can put it in the comment section. I'm going to be answering all your questions. And if there is anything you want me to do, just put it in the comment section. I'm going to be making a video on it. So now, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. It's very important. Subscribe to my channel. Bye.